Mr. Speaker, police officers are the barrier between good and evil. They do society's dirty work. They are the fence between the law and the lawless. And these men and women in uniform are our nation's peace officers. Every day, peace officers rush into chaos and toward crime that everyone else is running away from. And every day, these officers risk their lives for the rest of us. When New York police officer Brian Moore set out for patrol on May the 2nd, last Saturday, he did not know that would be his last day on patrol. Officer Moore and fellow Jansen were driving in Queens, New York that evening when they saw someone that was obviously suspicious. So they did what they should do. They went up to that individual to check out what was going on. As Officer Moore drove up behind the suspicious individual and asked him this question: "Do you have something in your waist?" And allegedly, the callous criminal, Mr. Speaker, coldly replied, "Yeah, I've got something in my pocket," and he pulled out a gun and fired 3 shots into Officer Moore's patrol car, killing Officer Moore. The soulless criminal then fled in the darkness of the night, and Officer Moore was rushed to the hospital where he spent 2 days before he died. He was 25 years of age when he was killed. He was young, he was bright, and he was committed to the badge that he wore over his heart. In his short career, Officer Moore had received 2 exceptional police service commendations. Commissioner Bill Bratton of the New York Police Department noted, "They don't give those medals away. He worked very hard for those." And Officer Moore earned those 2 medals in less than 5 years. He was an exceptional police officer, even at a very young age. Being a peace officer wasn't a job for Officer Moore. It was a cause. It was in his blood. He was the son, the nephew, and the cousin of New York police officers, and the job had deep roots in the Moore family. He lived with his father, a retired police officer, and he was meant for the uniform, and he was killed because of the uniform. It's an absolute tragedy that his young life was stolen from not only his family, but the police department and the community that he honorably served and protected. Last Monday, as Officer Moore's body was transferred from a Queens hospital, the ambulance drove by a thin blue line of peace officers that stood in silent salute, paying their respects for Officer Moore. Peace officers, Mr. Speaker, are the first to respond to the call for help when someone's in trouble. That's who they call. The police are the first and last line of defense between criminals and citizens. And it's somewhat ironic, Mr. Speaker, that our society counts on police officers to protect their communities, to protect their property, restore order, yet they are targeted and criticized when they try to do their job to protect the rest of us. We thank the peace officers who, in spite of this, continue to serve and protect neighborhoods. As long as criminals are on our streets and our neighborhoods refusing to follow society's law, peace officers are absolutely necessary. As a country, we should mourn the loss of all those in law enforcement that devote their life's work to restoring order in our community. Since Officer Moore was murdered on May the 2nd, 2 other peace officers were murdered in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Mr. Speaker, this week is National Police Week. And this Friday, right over here on the west side of the Capitol, the families of peace officers killed in the line of duty last year, the 124, plus all of the families of previous years will gather. They will be surrounded by thousands of peace officers from all over the country and by citizens showing their respect during Police Week. Of the 126 killed last year, that's 24% increase from the previous year. 11 of those that were killed were from Texas. And here's who they were, the roll call of the fallen. Mark Kelly of the Trinity University Police Department, Detective Charles Denwittle of the Killeen Police Department, Sergeant Paul Buckles of the Potter County Sheriff's Department, Chief of Police Lee Dixon of the Little River Academy Police Department, Chief of Police Michael Pennell of the Elmendorf Police Department, Border Patrol Agent Tyler Robello, Senior Deputy Jessica Hollis of the Travis County Sheriff's Department, Sergeant Michael Lee Naylor of the Midland County Sheriff's Department, Deputy Jesse Valdez of the Harris County Sheriff's Department, Constable Robert Parker White of the El Paso County Constable's Office, and Sergeant Alejandro Martinez of the Willacy County Sheriff's Department. Mr. Speaker, all of those died because they were wearing the badge. As a former prosecutor and a former judge, I've known a lot of police officers. I've known some that have been killed in the line of duty. They, like Officer Moore, represent the best of America. And this week, other police officers throughout the country will be wearing the black cloth of sacrifice over their badge or their star, showing respect for those that have fallen in the line of duty in this country. So we thank the families of the fallen. We thank the fallen for what they've done. And we thank all of those who still protect and serve America. They are the best we have. And that's just the way it is. I yield back.
Gentleman yields.